Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. I'm Megan.
And I'm Ciera. Today we're going to be attempting our very first reading vlog, and so if you guys watch this video and then have any tips for us, if we do any reading vlogs in the future, let us know. For our fun take for this video, we're going to be reading different books, and so the premise is reading popular BookTok books.
So I'm going to be reading Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood.
And I'm going to be reading Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. So I am only about 37 pages in so far, but that's all I'm going to be able to read for the first session since I have to get ready for bed. I'm really enjoying it so far though. I'm having high hopes for it. It's moving at a pretty good pace, and the characters are really likable and have a good amount of personality so far, and it's not even that far into the book. So enjoying it. We're already getting into the conflict, or the main conflict already happened, so now we're getting into now they have to hang out with each other and you know, I'm guessing things will pick up from there. So excited, and that's it for my first little reading session. I just finished the part where I think that the prince and the president's son have had their first heart-to-heart where they might have some things in common, maybe are going to start liking each other. And now I just ended the chapter where they swapped phone numbers, so I think that I don't know how much of the book is going to be long distance communication versus when they'll see each other next, so we shall see. I don't think I would guess that they're gonna see each other soon, but I don't know. I think that I just passed the point of the book where it's they're crossing boundaries. The window is blown out right now. Unsure. I actually didn't know going into this book. Obviously I knew it's a romance between two guys, but I was are one or both of them out in the book already? And as far as I can tell, neither of them are out, and so it's the midst of confusion and stuff going on, not sure how much they like each other. Are they just friends? And a line was just crossed, and so they're probably not just friends. So yeah, I'm gonna take a break though, because the last 20 pages that I've been reading, I was kind of getting tired, so I might either take a nap or just walk around or something. But yeah, so far enjoying it. Okay, so I'm actually in Cincinnati right now. That's why we were flying yesterday. We're visiting Maggie, which will be in an upcoming vlog next week, but I wanted to do a quick little review of the stuff that I read yesterday. I think I got to I think I'm at 294, so I have just over 100 pages left. Things that have happened so far: the prince and then the president's son have been having their little relationship. It's been very down low and very secretive, because the president's running their re-election campaign, so they don't want this news to cause a stir or anything that would sway votes to go to the other competitor. Is competitor the right word? The other candidate? I will say, so that's been the main conflict this whole time, is them keeping things secret and them not being sure how they can continue this relationship going into the public eye without all this scrutiny. And so they seem they've come up with not necessarily a solution, but they're gonna try, or they're willing to try, so I'm curious to see how this plays out over the next 100 pages. Now for some things that I've been iffy about or haven't liked as much. One is that Casey McQuiston is killing me with these long chapters. I swear the book in total has 15 chapters, and I swear some of the chapters are 50 pages. I very much prefer chapters that are short and 10 pages max, because it just makes it a little bit easier to read and motivates me a little bit more. Reading 5 10-page chapters is very different than reading one 50-page chapter. So I wish that the chapters were a little bit shorter, so it would motivate myself to read more, because sometimes I'll see a chapter and I'm oh, that's 50 pages, I don't know if I'm in the mood for that right now. So That's one thing that's been kind of tough. And then the only other thing that I've been kind of iffy about is like the sense of humor is just like kind of cringy. Like I know you have to like kind of accept that with a lot of like rom-com type books, but there's like, since they were like enemies to lovers, like that's the trope in this book, they start with like a lot of like insults in the beginning, and like the insults to me are a little bit cringe, and I'm like, that's not quite the insult that you think it is. And then the other thing, which like bothers me a little bit but probably wouldn't bother other people, is like there's like a lot of cursing in this book, and like cursing in general doesn't bother me, but it's almost excessive to the point where it just feels like it's filler words and like not adding anything. So I'm kind of like, I roll my eyes when it's like that wasn't like necessary. So I don't know, just something I've noticed, but I will update you guys when I read some more. Alright, so I have officially finished reading Red, White, and Royal Blue. So the last kind of 100 or so pages of the book covers how Alex and Henry have to navigate their relationship in the public eye, and then also the like very last little bit of the book is like the presidential election, like seeing the results from that, and then it kind of ties together kind of a nice little bow at the end. So that is to be expected of a romance book. I gave this book 4 stars. Honestly, it's kind of like a 3.5 to 4 star for me, but I still enjoyed it, so I just gave it 4 stars. Do I think it lived up to the TikTok hype? I would say for me personally, like not as much as I was expecting it to, just because like this was just like so hyped up on TikTok. I enjoyed it, but just like not as much as it seemed like everyone else did. So there is my review.
So this is Ciera and I's first reading vlog video, so we're gonna have to see how this goes, but we're both reading separate books for this video. The book that I'm going to be reading is called Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. I have already read The Love Hypothesis from her, and I really liked that book. And so this book is kind of a similar premise where it's supposed to be kind of more in a STEM setting, and it's a romance novel, obviously. So I think that for this reading vlog, how I plan on doing it is I want to give a brief summary of the book to get started, although I honestly don't know that much before I go into reading books. And then with each reading session that I do, I want to kind of obviously show me reading the book, but then, you know, talk about things as they're happening, or kind of my thoughts with how the book is going or the direction it's going with each different little reading session that I have. So this book is about the main character. Her name is Bee. She is a grad student working in a lab, and basically her arch nemesis Levi is, they don't get along, and so then it's just like an enemies to lovers book. So that's all I know. This book is about 350 pages, and I have not started it yet. And it is Thursday right now when I'm recording this, and I would like to finish it sometime Saturday. So my goal today, which is maybe a lofty goal, but I would like to get to page 100 today or so when I read it before bed tonight. So we'll see if that works or not, but otherwise I have a lot of time tomorrow to dedicate to reading. Okay, this angle's kind of weird, but I have you guys on my nightstand. So it is currently 8:16 right now. I'm going to do a little bit of reading before bed. Again, my goal is to try and get to page 100 before I go to sleep tonight. So, which some of these pages I kind of like can tell from scrolling through. There's some pages that it's kind of looks more like text, which I can't seem to find now anymore, which I thought was going to... Okay, I found a couple actually. So, not as many as I thought. It is now 10:15. I successfully got to page 104, so I at least got a good chunk into my book. So far, I'm enjoying it. I like the pace of it. There's like enough going on where it's interesting. I can see the relationship between the two characters evolving, but like nothing's really happened yet. And the one thing is like character names are so annoying sometimes, and I just like am having a hard time pronouncing some of these character names, so then when I'm reading it in the book, I just kind of like skim over the name, and I'm just like, whatever. There's also something else going on where the main character, she runs this like popular like female woman in STEM like Twitter page, but it's like anonymous, and just like people can write in and like complain about stuff, blah blah blah, ask for advice. And so she has that account that like no one knows she runs, and then she also
like regularly communicates with another big account that is a guy, but they don't actually know each other. And so the obvious thought process in my mind is that it's like going to be the guy, but there's things going on where like that wouldn't fully make sense, but then I'm just trying to think of like how else like could this twist so that like I'm assuming we'd find out who this person is that runs the other account, but I don't really know what the surprise would be if there is a surprise, if it was not the guy. So I don't know. But other than that, I'm enjoying it so far. So we'll see how far I get tomorrow.
So it is Friday now. I actually got off work a little bit early today because today's our last day of our second block of clinicals. So we only have one more to go before graduation, but we get a week off next week. Anyways, that means I have plenty of time today to see how much, maybe all of the rest of this book, I can get finished today. So I did make it past page 100 last night, which was good. That was my goal. I have a quick half hour that I can do a little bit of reading before I need to run a couple errands. So I'm gonna get cozied up on the couch over there and see if anything exciting happens. Okay, it's 7:30 right now. I read 45 pages earlier when I had that quick little reading session, and a little bit more kind of happened. The characters started getting a little bit closer. You start realizing that the guy does not hate the girl in this book, and he's making that pretty obvious, and then she's still kind of being oblivious and being like, oh no, you still hate me, I get it. So we're gonna pick up from here. I am kind of tempted to finish reading the book tonight. I've got 200 pages to go, and so I'm gonna see how quickly I can read the next 100 pages, and then I need to shower, so here we go. I'll update you guys if anything interesting happens. Things are getting interesting. I'm on page 181, and we've got some characters showing up in the book that they've talked about, but they have not actually been in the book yet. So we're getting some collision of some exes and current stuff, so let's see what happens. Also, on a side note, all these chapters start with different parts of the brain, and it's giving me flashbacks to neuroanatomy from physical therapy school, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm on page 196, and they're slowly getting along more and more and spending more time together. Some of the dialogue too in here is just kind of cute. So, some of it's also annoying, but some of it's good. Also, just to give a little update on plot. So, this is kind of similar to the love hypothesis in that there's a conference that's going on that their boss sent both of them to because they're the leads on this project that they're working on. And so that kind of gives a whole forced proximity situation, but nothing really has happened too much yet. I'm recording again because I think we're getting to feelings being put out there, so let's see what happens. The reveal has happened. And by reveal, I just mean feelings are out.
So it is Saturday morning. I literally only have 45 pages left in this book. So we're gonna finish reading it, and I'm liking it so far. It's definitely kind of teetering at a 4-star for me, just because 5-star has to be a feeling, and I'm not quite getting that, but I still am really enjoying the book. I'm also someone who, this is kind of annoying of me, but in romance books, I know there needs to be some sort of issue or problem, usually just to make it so there's a problem that they're trying to solve or work through. And in this book, it was kind of them being enemies and her not understanding no, he doesn't hate you. And they've made it past that kind of, but she's still being kind of dumb, and it's he still doesn't like me. And then things were going, you know, getting better and better, and then now like there's an issue going on with like the project that they're working on, and that's like something else that they have to work through. And there's also another issue with like the social media accounts that I was talking about earlier. And so we're back in like the part where like there's 45 pages left in the book, and I still have to like work through these things. And sometimes for romance books, I just like when we get to like the happy, good, it all works out, which obviously usually doesn't happen until like the very end. But that's also, I think, one of the reasons that I really loved the book Summer of Broken Rules, because in that book it was just like all good vibes, like all the way through pretty much. So yeah. Okay, so B is trying to figure out what's going on right now. I'm turning the camera on because I feel like we're about to find out that a good character is a not so good character. So I'm still kind of like, I don't really know why this character is doing this, so. We're in a very like damsel in distress kind of moment, so I'm waiting for Levi to come in and save the day somehow. What? Things just escalated. There we go. Maybe not. I thought, never mind. Well, that was a crazy chapter. That was chapter 24. I have like 15 pages left, but holy cow, that was more intense than I was expecting. Okay, I only have a couple more pages before the epilogue. Okay, I'm officially done with the main book. The ending was kind of like, I just want a little more, but I feel like that's kind of like what the epilogue is going to give me, so I'm going to read that quick, and then I'll share my final thoughts. The end. I'm going to give it a solid 4 out of 5 stars. There is a decent level of spice in this book, so I guess like fair warning on that. I feel like obviously romance books, usually like there's not like big twists, or like they're usually pretty predictable, so like that's definitely the case with this book, but I feel like you read that kind of knowing and expecting the things that are coming next, but it still is fun and it was enjoyable. And if I had to compare this one to The Love Hypothesis, I actually think that I might like this one more. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this first reading vlog that we did, and if you feel like we could do these a little bit better in the future, or if you liked this, let us know, or if you have any other book video ideas that you want us to do, then you can comment those down below as well.